Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, Alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club, where we will go, where we're celebrating 50 plus life in Portugal, and we'll pop over there for the Portuguese citizenship test question number 88, I believe. Two fat ladies. That is not a body shaming comment. That is what is said, I think, in the bingo halls of Great Britain, where we will go this morning to take a look at what's going on the waterways and public transport. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jacqueline Mary, as well. YouTube haven't sorted that out yet, have they? We're still seeing people's original self-listing on YouTube. So we end up with the likes of Jacqueline-Mary and Quinta-Entre Aguas, rather than some of the other YouTube handles that we're familiar with. On the show this morning, a slight tickle in my throat. Bear with me a minute. Yeah, I should have gargled with lemon and honey this morning, but I didn't. So forgive me. I think that's gone now. Of course, yes, the Portuguese citizenship test question, and of course, I will say that you Portugal and other places, you began the year with fireworks, and that seems to have continued. What a weekend it's been, eh? And the spicy year that I've been talking about, as it turns out, for 2 or 3 or maybe 20 years running now. It looks like we've got off to a cracking start for a spicy year here in the world for 2026. And we will be talking about Venezuelans. That's the angle we're taking with the United States government kidnapping the Venezuelan leader and taking him for trial on the United States territory. To have arguments about that, you can probably just open up any social media platform. So let's stay out of that if we can. People abusing each other with 3-letter acronyms or whatever else. Let's talk. I mean, we are expats, foreigners, immigrants here in Portugal. Let's talk to our Venezuelan brothers and sisters and find out what's going on for them. It's interesting, isn't it, that a lot of this seems to have been co-opted as a way of people sharing their views about the American leader. I'm hoping we can focus on how we might be able to support our Venezuelan brothers and sisters, fellow foreigners here, who haven't come here in many ways and many instances in the same luxurious and easy way that we came to Portugal. They came here for very different reasons. So we'll come back to Venezuelans in Portugal. And I've started a little stub of information about that community over at the Portugal Club. And actually, talking of communities who I hope to represent better on the Portugal Club and the Good Morning Portugal show, we have our Ibrahim, our Iranian friend as well, who's going to come and talk to us about life as an Iranian here in Portugal as well. So that's beginning to happen. Communities who we don't normally know, come across or speak to, better representation on the Good Morning Portugal show, find out how life is for other members of other community, ethnic, national groups here in Portugal, as well as Venezuelans in Portugal. We'll be looking at salt in beer, which I discovered, not as a prank at a cafe over the weekend, but I didn't realize Sagres make a beer with salt in it. Has it improved the flavor? I'll tell you later. It's my favorite, actually, when it comes to Sagres or Superboc. Sagres all the way for me. And this is literally a nice twist or a pinch of salt in the beer. I'll tell you more about that, as well as a great beer from Musa, who are an independent hipster brewery in, not Beato, Mavilla in Lisbon. And they've got a 10% off deal for your first order. I'll tell you about that as well. Wine Club tonight, carrying on with the booze theme, and let you know a little bit about that if there's time. Mailbag, Munson's mailbag. There was a challenge to whether an 85-year-old woman did indeed build herself up to lift or bench press 100 kilograms. We've had correspondence about that, doubting the veracity of such reports from the coach. And it's interesting in pushing AI on this. It's interesting to see what comes back. I still don't know if it's a true story or not. We will take a look at that as well. And top cars, possibly as well, the top-selling cars, Antonio F. all over that. He was last year and he is again this year with the top-selling models and makes of 2025 as well. Tig not able to join us this morning, but she has got a 10-letter summary of where she's at the moment. A post-Brexit Brit correspondent, Tig James, MBE, not able to join us this morning, but I've got 10 letters that sum up, I think, what she probably would have said had she been here this morning. And sad news. Over the weekend, I heard that our mate, the Caldash crooner, Les, sadly, has passed away. So a tribute to Les as well. He passed away on January the 3rd. He had been poorly, old Les. Some of you I knew him, met him here. An absolute Silver Coast legend. And a little bit about Les this morning. Some words from Sally, his daughter, who had been reporting the fact that he hadn't been well. Passed away on the 3rd of January. And of course, we have to finish the show with a song from him, one of our Caldash crooner recordings. So sorry to see the passing of Les. Let's get into your comments then over in the chat. Give the like button a little rub to warm it up this morning. So just you and me this morning and all of the aforementioned. Let's have should we have an easygoing start? It's brace, is it not, for 2026? As many people are suggesting, anticipating, and I suppose it becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here, in the little cocoon and niche of the Good Morning Portugal show, let's hang out together and enjoy a little bit of morning relaxation or mindfulness. Community, basically. And see how we can get the week off to a great start. And it really feels like this is the beginning of the year as well, doesn't it? This is the 5th of January. Things, the wheels of industry, of social life as we know it here in Portugal, beginning to ease back into a recognizable form. Nothing like 2019 or before that, but some resemblance of life outside of the festive period returning to our lives this morning. Bom dia, alegria a todos e feliz primeira segunda-feira de 2026. You nearly got me there, Matty. It's not 2026, much as we would like it to be. Bom dia from Jackie as well. And a video report from you, Jackie. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Thank you very much for sending us that. Olá, bom dia todos from Chris as well. A report, yes, yeah, a Capricorn Chronicle this morning. Train Chronicles, then it's cold, back to work. Yep, things getting back into business in London. London, mate, where is everyone? The train is at 50% capacity. Okay, some people not returning to work at all, or not yet anyway. New faces on the train. Those faces are having makeup or not applied to them. Get ready for the increase in cold and flu. Talking of self-fulfilling prophecies, cyclical as always. Yes, absolutely. Plenty of garlic. And that means that, yeah, it could a great antibacterial, antiviral, and people won't want to sit next to you either if you chew a clove of garlic every morning before you get on that train. And colleagues at work will give you a wide berth as well. Oh, and if you're wondering, the image behind me this morning is of the full moon from last night. Me and Mrs. M were driving back from the supermarket last night, having got some provisions, and there was something in the sky. Oh my goodness. It was huge down the end of the street. I thought, well, I don't recognize that Christmas decoration. What on earth is that? It turns out it's not on Earth. It was up in the heavens, and it was the moon. So we drove tracking down the moon and parked up on a little country lane just outside the town to take photographs of the moon. And this is one of them. The night mode on my camera. Very rarely does a mobile camera do the full moon or a fullish moon any justice. We're just past the full moon, by the way. As Caracas was plunged into darkness, perhaps they were using the full moon. All sorts of things can happen at a full moon. And this is the remnant of the most recent full moon in the sky last night that you see behind me. If you'd like me to feature one of your pictures, 913-590-303 is the number to send that to. Okay, let's move on, shall we? And have a look at Chris's report from the public transport of His Majesty's tube train, I think. Is it a train or a tube? I think you're on a rattler, aren't you? there in the UK. Chris, where's your little report gone? Your Capricorn Chronicle. Worried about getting the flu on the train. It's so cold apparently that some passengers have to put their makeup down on. Put their make down on. This is what? This is when they look worse with makeup on. Oh, I see. There's so much makeup, you're calling it make down. So he's very judgmental this morning, isn't he? So in your opinion, and maybe it's something to do with those big eyebrows and lots of foundation, that some women, presumably, although there might be a few fellas with guy liner and mascara on the train, but you think some of them look better without it than with it. Makeup reacts to the temperature in a negative way. Happy Monday, Gumpers. Can you imagine that? Being a woman with lots of makeup on the train, thinking, it's so cold in here. My makeup is about to have a chemical reaction. What, burst into flames or fall off or, freeze maybe and fall off onto the floor as a complete mask on the floor. Thank you for that, Chris. What a lovely image. Bon dia from Sarah. Good morning to you, Team Yerman. Good to see you. Never seen your makeup run, Chris. Yeah, he's a professional, of course. Or is it just Clarence? That is train proof. Cold, you say, says Matty. Well, at Quinta Ontraguas, it is windy as well. I'll keep your cold and I'll raise it with some wind. Ah, yes. Talking of wind, had you seen this news here? That lady that you can see emitting a cloud of green gas, and she looks very relieved and happy about it. Apparently, it's a thing. Let me just move your comment to one side for a moment there, if I may, Matty. You should start taking fart walks. And now some of us already do. I thought they were referring to fartlek or intermittent, what's it called? Where you burst into a run every other lamppost, as the coach has taught us. This isn't fartlek. This is straightforward fart walks where you go out for a constitutional after a meal and release uncomfortable gases, trapped wind, perhaps. Keep it where it is, as far as I'm concerned. But yes, it's a thing. But maybe it was a quiet news day as well. Who knows? I mean, I don't know if anyone wants to fess up to being such a person who goes out in such an antisocial way and gets a few steps in and a few farts out. Anyway, how vulgar that we might be talking, or that I might be talking about this at 8:15 on a Monday morning. Morning to you, Mel. Bon dia to you. And massive queues on the A1 to Lisbon, all the way from Santarém. Helicopter landed, didn't realise there was that much traffic. How do you know that? You need to put 50p in the meter, Carl, looking distinctly chilly. It is a bit cold up here in the attic, Peter. But the still from the Kate Bush video behind me is not helping either, is it? And I do like the scarf. I do like the scarf look. I'll be carrying this on into the spring, I think. Morning to you, T-Duck, as well. Hola, bon dia, alegria, Gumpers. And give the like button a little rub, folks, to warm it up. Let's see what happens. Give it a go. Let's see what happens. Doubt there are many Venezuelans here. Portugal has one of the lowest refugee acceptances in the world. Well, you may be surprised, Peter. There are some Venezuelans here. So hold on a minute. We shall see about that. Sagres Bohemia is way better than the... Did you try it, Pete? I do like a Bohemia. There's definitely some flavour in that bad boy, isn't there? But the salty one, definitely... It's a nice addition. Come back to that. Massive queues on the A1 every workday. So what's going on specifically there then, I wonder? The thumbs up from T-Duck as well for the Bohemia beer. Queue is a tad unusual, though, on the A1. What's happening? 80 kilometres. Everyone back to work in the cold, in their cars, not on public transport, perhaps. Oh, dear. Right now, I'm looking at the traffic map. It looks typical. Fight. Good morning, everyone from Gemini. How you doing? And yeah, condolences about Les. You got to meet him and hear him sing live. Yes, we met, didn't we, at a party? A few of us were having a birthday party, and Les turned up. And as he was remembered by his grandson, always talking to the ladies, and at the party we were at, dancing with the ladies as well. What an absolute legend! And last of a generation, I would say as well, of a particular kind of older gentleman, a legend, a mentor, an avatar for us in our 50 plus community here in Portugal for sure. Les, RIP. We'll say more about Les, the Caldas crooner, in a moment after we've said all our hellos this morning. So glad we live far enough away from that. Traffic here usually involves sheep. Oh, Welsh people on holiday. Sorry, Jackie. And Doug, if you're watching. Yes, Peter, why are you watching it then? You've managed to move away from it and you're watching it on telly instead, you bonkers man. Bon dia, Carl from Clint. Hi, Clint. Lovely to see you here this morning. How's it going? To the bang. And more condolences for Les. Sorry to hear about Les. My sympathies to his family. With a little tribute to him in just a moment. And of course, we'll finish the show. It's the only right thing to do is to play one of Les's songs, which he began singing online, I think, during the pandemic as a way of cheering people up. And that continued with songs and poetry until fairly recently with Les. I think only until like 2 or 3 weeks ago, basically. I love him. The moon was stunning the past 2 nights. Well, there's my tribute to it, as you can see on the screen. It is beautiful this morning. Hundreds of kilometers away from the A1 for Peter, and bon dia Gumpers from Mike. Hello. How you doing there, Mike and Karen and all you lovelies in Miranda de Corvo this morning? About 9,000. Yes, absolutely. A few more than you might be expecting there, Peter. 19,000 US expats, and Pete's crunched the numbers. If you're one of those 9,000 people, Peter, that's quite a significant community nonetheless. A lot of them don't want to be here, to be fair. They would rather be back in Venezuela, and there's a little bit of a light and hope for them that they might be following this the events of this last weekend. 48,000 from the UK. Carl, I find it embarrassing putting your makeup on the train. Okay, I'll stop it, Gemini. I didn't realize it upset you so much. I won't do it anymore, I promise. Well, farts, like burps, do not pay rent and therefore need to leave the body. That sounds like a German saying, doesn't it? I can imagine a German father, or farter, as it turns out. And I didn't plan to say that. But yes, a German father is a farter, whether he likes it or not. Am I right, Matty? Must go, like, or one of those, and say, das ist nicht paying the rent, therefore he must leave the body. Because all German dads talk like that, of course. Yes, Carl's makeup is better applied in the shed as always. Yeah, I don't I don't want people seeing me. I just want people to just believe in the magic of show business. The smell of the crowd, the roar of the grease paint. We had planned to drive up to Caldas this morning and do some walking and shopping. We saw the temperature. Fair weather shoppers. Literally, I look at them, don't know how they wear mascara, etc. They put on too much. Capricorn. Yeah, these youngsters, not like in our day. In the 80s, we didn't put on much hair lacquer or makeup, did we? Capricorn, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, make down, not make up. Very interesting. I'd never heard of that before. I have a video of him singing at that party. It was almost 4 years ago. Wow, he sang for us. That's amazing, isn't it? That's Les we're talking about there. If the sheep is tied to a lamppost, he's at a Welsh leisure centre. Oh my gosh. More than 500 or so Australians. Wow. You see, that's I would say is a smaller community. 9,000, that's quite a few. We'll find out a bit more about Venezuelans in Portugal. At the times of Martin Luther, the one that started the Protestantism in the Christian church, it was not polite to not fart or burp after a meal. Times have changed. Oh, ain't they just? Hey, things ain't what they used to be, Matty. Carl, you should see the women on the train. They have a suitcase full of stuff, as in makeup, is that? Don't mention the sheep, Jackie. We'll have loads more Australians joining us. Right. Tribute then to Les. Les would be with us having a bit of a laugh and a giggle this morning. He was so cheerful and whistling. This is how he's remembered by his grandchildren and great-grandchildren on Sally's timeline. This is Sally, and she announced on January the 3rd, that was what, Saturday, was it not? It is with a very heavy heart, and my dad Les passed away last night, so he passed away on Friday. He was also known as the Caldas crooner. He had a very difficult last 3 weeks, but I shall remember him for his joy, there we go, that he brought to people during COVID with his singing in poems and beyond, and I'm sure before that as well. After my mum died 14 years ago, says Sally, at the end of the year as well, in 2011, 31st of December, I thought he would curl up and die. But no, he blossomed and we became even closer. We enjoyed many adventures together, trips to the Algarve so he could get his chocolate and jigsaw puzzle fix, meeting up with his granddaughter and great-granddaughters. How lovely. Lots of very happy memories to treasure. Us too, Sally. You're at peace now. Until I see you on the other side, I love you. From Sally to Les, as you can see there. It sat in his position where he would sing and also eat ice cream there as well. Now, we first met Les, I think, because he was also a stamp collector. And we put an announcement on the Good Morning Portugal show. I think Sally was saying he was getting a bit of cabin fever indoors during the pandemic time, and he was delighted to receive stamps from all over the world. I think, if I remember rightly, we launched a little bit of an appeal that people might send him stamps from around the world, which was our first experience of Les. And then, of course, the Caldash Crooner inclusions on the YouTube channel, and we will include one of those, a perfectly fitting song that we'll go out with today. So, yeah, rest in peace, and thank you, Les, for your contribution to the community here. An absolute Silver Coast legend who's passed on there last Friday, Les the Caldash Crooner. Okay, let's see what's going on in the comments. And I think we have salt in beer to talk about this morning. How do you pivot from the passing of a fantastic, wonderful man, 94 years old, by the way, he was. I didn't mention that. How do you move on from that into such trivialities as salt and beer? Well, that's what I'll endeavour to do here. We can go down a decade from 94 to 85. Actually, let's do that from 94 to 85. And some doubt, it's in Munson's mailbag, the bulging sack of correspondence. Let's start this right here and address the pushback, the doubt that's been cast over some news that was shared by the coach in the last couple of weeks. Okay, Munson's mailbag then, and it was this that came in. Now, this is Jay, isn't it, from Damp Guard, the guys who install a revolutionary new system. Well, it is in Portugal. It's very well known in the UK, apparently, for managing damp in the atmosphere and changing the air quality. And they're Silver Coast based, and they've done a few installations. I think this is Jay from Damp Guard. It's a good story, is his response to the coach talking about an 85-year-old woman who was able to bench press 100 kilograms, 100 kilometers within 6 months. 100 pounds maybe, but not 100 kilograms. Starting from 5 kgs, bench pressing 100 within 6 months. Some doubt there. There was no reason for me to doubt the coach. So I've been meaning to address this. We don't want to be spreading misinformation. And it says on my AI overview on Google, yes, it is true that a specific 85-year-old woman has been documented bench pressing 100 kilograms. I keep wanting to say kilometers. That's 220 pounds, by the way. This was highlighted in social media videos and news segments as an inspirational example of strength building at any age. That was us. So trying to fact check a particular news story led us right back to our own first publication, it would seem. That's the citation. It is true because we said it, basically. Wow, we could get a job in any governments around the world at the moment with that kind of power. Reports indicate this woman started training reports possibly. This woman, oh no, to be fair, coach saw it somewhere else. So yes, reports, definitely in the plural, indicates this woman started training with a personal trainer at age 85. Mel, what do you make of this? Is it possible? And despite initially being unable to lift even 5 kilograms, achieved the 100 kilogram bench press within about 6 months. While this is a remarkable and rare achievement, it demonstrates that significant strength gains are possible later in life through dedicated resistance training. The achievement has been featured in news and fitness related social media to showcase the benefits of exercise for seniors. So I think the point stands from the coach. that it's a good idea to stay strong and do some resistance training as you get older. A little bit of doubt then on whether actually a lady of 85 was able to do that. Okay, a few more comments, and we shall have a look at salty beer and the Portugal Club Portuguese citizenship test question of the day, and Venezuelans of Portugal, very importantly as well. Okay, women with suitcases full of makeup. Hold on a minute. That is the joke applied to New Zealanders, not Aussies, Peter. Only 2,000 Iranians living in Portugal. We know one of them. Yeah, we'll get Ibrahim on the show soon to talk about Iranians living in Portugal. Morning to you, Henry and Nina. Nina and Henry, bon dia. Greetings to you all from sunny Central. Is that a joke or is that for real? We've been on a socials break for a while, which includes news, easing our way back into a routine and coming back into the... Well, there's lots to look at this morning. Around 500,000 Brazilians in Portugal, according to Wiki, as long as that isn't referring to... Okay, Peter. I imagine in terms of what should we call it? Ground floor topiary, there's probably more than 500,000 Brazilians in Portugal. And I'm not basing that on any personal research, I can assure you. 85-year-old is a slim possibility of doing that if she was previously a lifter over decades, then a lifter, then had a few years off. Not if she had never trained now. Okay, fair enough. 50, but still, the point remains, doesn't it? Why not try a little bit of resistance training in older age? 50 years of fitness training does retain a high level of strength even after rest. Okay, there was a 97-year-old in Tamar with the Festival of the Trays who carried her own body weight for about 3 hours. Are you kidding? In 30 plus degrees. So I think that is an understatement. Wow. Possible she may have never been in a gym, but threw around cows, etc. Lived on a farm and did okay, so it stays with the body, the strength imprint. Very interesting. Or the muscle memory, literally. Olá, bom dia, back in Boa, Portugal. Sounds like you're happy to be. What's your assessment of the UK? It looks like after a long absence, a long exile, you might say, I will be returning this year to the UK at some point, for sure. So what's your assessment? How should I prepare myself for a long overdue return to the UK? Andera, good to see you this morning. When I'm 97, I'm going to carry my own body weight in chocolate. That's a great aspiration. Which brand, or does it not matter? Oh, some lovely chocolate digestives last night, Jackie. We could have shared one of those over a cuppa last night. How rude of me not to put your comments on the screen. Only me this morning. I think we'll do the Portuguese citizenship test question, and then we will talk about... We're going wide and big for your comments on the screen. Doesn't that look good? And I'll move over a bit. Doesn't that look great with the black background there? Right, let's go over to the Portugal Club de Portugal, and the citizenship test question. Now, where is this? Members, Portugal Club. There it is. Question 88 then. Are you seeing that on your screen? Another nice, easy one. Not as easy as 87. And the correct answer for that, of course, was Fado. But it gave you a chance to look at some other dance forms and styles here in Portugal. 88 then, what is the name of the traditional Portuguese Christmas cake? Is it A, the boloré? I'm going to go for that. And of course, if you had visited the Portugal Club this morning, you'll have seen in our calendar that it is King's Day. Oh, no, it isn't King's Day. I thought it was the 6th today. That's tomorrow. I do beg your pardon. No, rewind, edit that bit out. It's King's Day tomorrow, getting you ready for that. So forget what I just said then. Let's just go back to the Portuguese citizenship test question. King's Day tomorrow. Boloré and the Dia dos Reis tomorrow. Is it B pão de ló, the cake that, if you're from England, looks like it should have had another 20 or 30 minutes in the oven? Or is it a tarta amêndoa? Is it almond tart? I mean, to be fair, Portuguese people are going to be eating all of these at Christmas. And oh my goodness, we were celebrating Minnie's birthday on the 2nd. And I went to one of our great Portuguese cake shops and got one of those. It was Concha, and got one of those fantastic boxes of cakes, a cardboard box full of various cakes. It was such a joy. And a testament to the amount of confectionery that will have been eaten over the festive period here in Portugal. And still it kept on coming. Highlights for me, actually, Something I'm not too keen on is, and I understand why they do it here in Portugal. Of course, they're going to be using confectioner's cream, aren't they? The not real dairy cream in cakes, because in the summer, I imagine dairy cream, real dairy cream, would be a nightmare to it would just go sour within a few minutes in the heat. So they have to use that nasty stuff. So I avoid cream cakes. I love the cakes of Portugal, and of course the pastel de nata, custard, yes, but cream not so much. So I got a bottle of the Berlin, ripped it in half, and filled it with skirty cream. OMG, that was good. Right, so back to the Portuguese citizenship test question, and away from my personal preferences with cakes. What is the name of the traditional Portuguese Christmas cake? Is it the bolo rei? Is it the pau de ló? Or is it the tarte de amendoa? Lots more to report for you from the Portugal Club here, and I must find my section on Venezuela. The little bit of research I did on Venezuelans. Oh, let me also tell you that we nearly had a guest this morning, a Venezuelan living in Spain, and we're working on another whose story I will share with you. We might be talking to Maria, who came from Venezuela, and with what's happened in Venezuela, I didn't realize the scale of difficulty, challenge, suffering that Venezuelans have gone through, to my shame and embarrassment, quite frankly. And I will detail one such journey from Venezuela to Portugal. So we will be speaking to Juan tomorrow, who lives in Spain, who is a Venezuelan, and I'm trying to get hold of other Venezuelans to speak of their experience as well, because far from, I don't think this should be a matter of being hijacked, the plight of Venezuelan people being hijacked for other people's political projections and opinions. As difficult as that is to resist, I don't think it should be about that. When I worked in the disability world, there was a phrase that stuck in my mind: nothing about us without us. And when we talk about any community with all our judgments and projections, and we don't actually include the people in question, that's a bit dumb, really, isn't it? So the right thing to do, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to looking at the situation that blew up in Venezuela, I mean, it's a long and ongoing situation of misery, by the sound of it, in Venezuela for many people. But the right thing to do, obviously, and here in Portugal, is to speak to Venezuelan foreigners, expats, immigrants who found themselves in this country, why and what their experience is like. So I'm endeavoring to do that with a little bit of a preview, with some information on the background about the Venezuelan community here. So I shall return to that, and I'm going to share the information, which is up at the Portugal Club, or it soon will be. That's actually, no, it's not. It's not published yet, but bear with. I will make sure it is, and I'm going to find for you that information in just a moment, as soon as I can. So we've done the Portuguese citizenship test question anyway. Salty beer. I think I might just take a little bit of a look at salty beer whilst we're over at the Portugal Club as well. Yeah, beer with salt. And for those of you who don't like Sagres anyway, you're probably not going to like what they've done. There's a couple of beers that I picked up at Auchan, and I love the packaging, first and foremost, of the Sol y Mar branding and excursion. I mean, I guess beer manufacturers have to try different things. Isn't that a lovely can? Whether you like Sagres or not, or whether you like the idea of Portuguese sea salt in your beer, I think it makes a really nice, refreshing little twist to the beer, which in its original form has been brewed, was it since 1948 on the screen? I love the branding. I love the beer. That's my beer when it comes to Sagres or Superbock. So it's a yes from me. I'll be drinking that again. Very refreshing, and especially, I imagine, especially so as the temperature warms up. And look, a frank American pale ale from the wonderful Musa Brewery, who are in Marvilha, next to Beato, in the trendy part of Lisbon, where there's a lot going on at the moment. Well, Lisbon's just trendy anyway, isn't it? But this especially so in hipster Marvilha, and the Musa Brewery. Did a little bit of research on that, and if you join their mailing list, I must put this in the chat for you. If you join their mailing list, you will get let me just find that for you. You will get a 10% discount on your first order of fabulous beers, I've got to say. Let me just show you their branding. Debbie there saying I prefer Superboc, but I will drink either. I hope that link will work in the comments there to take you to your 10% off your first Musa order. I think they're great beers. Let me just change what I'm sharing with you so you can see their fabulous branding. This is the 10% offer. I signed up and they sent me this. There it is. And they love their puns. I think Portuguese people love a bit of punning and do so in their own language. And here, brilliantly in English, welcome 10, that's 10% off your first order. And look at their really bold branding of their beers here. And wonderful. Yes, okay, I am. No, I don't want that. There we go. Look at their fabulous range of beers there. The Frank IPA, 12-pack of those is going to cost you just over $31. No, hold on. I'm sharing the wrong thing again. Let me just show you their website, which is absolutely fab. Yeah, the Loja online here. Can you see that? You can get a variety pack. It's like buying condoms back in the 70s. A pack of headliners there for €20. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Is that going to be 8 beers for €20? And they're great, all different. You can try different types. The Frank 8 IPA, the Born in the IPA, their tribute to American IPAs. The Blondie Ale, the Red Zeppelin. You see, they're loving the plays on words. Pesta e Cidra, there you go, play on words with the Portuguese band there. Pesta e Cidra, is that right? Twist and Stout, very good. Saison O'Connor, Psycho Pilsner, very good. Loving this. It's worth getting them just to give those a taste and smile at their beautiful wordplay and punnery there. And if you bother to go to their fabulous establishment, which I was able to do on a Startup Portugal tour, we ended up there one evening. It was great. And we had a little bit of a presentation from one of the resident brewers there. I think he was over from the US, and he was brought in as a bit of a consultant. What a place. Musa, I commend it to you. Check it out. There you go. Before we run out of, does it taste fishy? Beer does have fish in it, fish findings, doesn't it, from time to time? Does it taste fishy like the sea? There is definitely a resonance of the sea, no question about that. Right, okay, couple of comments, then definitely Venezuelans in Portugal this morning, and they are amazing. Okay, who's this? We have a couple next door who are 90 and 92 who regularly farm the land and have a beautiful vineyard. The green gym, right? The green gym of their own back garden. They're amazing. And they've been doing that all their life, I suspect, as well, as Mel suggests, puts them in good stead. Carl, return to the UK, get your things in order, last wishes sorted, and pray you can return to Portugal. What do you mean? It's a bit alarmist, isn't it? Bolo Ray isn't what it used to be. Now there are not sharp metal objects. Yeah, you're blimmin' EU there, Peter, spoiling all our fun, straightening bananas and taking the danger out of Bolo Ray. The biggest difference, going back to the UK, the biggest difference you immediately notice is how busy the UK is with everything. I said this to Mrs. M last night when I went out and we took this picture of the full moon last night when we were going to the shops. We got to the end of our street and 5 cars went past, and she said, "Oh, it's busy tonight, isn't it?" And I said, "That's 5 cars. If we were pulling out onto the A2 in Kent, it'd be 500 cars. It's amazing what you get used to." So the UK is busy with everything. Okay, Pete, your neighbours are living history. Record their stories, mate. I bet their history is fascinating. I absolutely adore the older generation. Well, let's get more oldies on it. You're going to have to help them with the technology, I think, with some of them. But let's talk to them on the show. You're absolutely right. Let's record their stories. Let's talk to them live here on Good Morning Portugal. My daughter's takeaway this visit was her new love of British savoury pies. Pucker, mate! Wow. Yes, British pies. That is something worth bringing back, I think. Let's see if we can't get them in the Algarve. Jackie, my Portuguese isn't good enough for that, but I did chat to a lovely 101-year-old who used to bathe in the spring on our land. He also had a tractor that didn't break down in the summer. Wow. Good morning, Carl. Slowly planning to get to Portugal. Hello, Anna Lucia. Great to see you. Planning to settle out there near Coimbra in the next 6 months. If there's anything we can do to help you, let me know. We have a piece of land with a ruin that needs building near Pedrogo Grande. Regarding weightlifting, yes, our muscles do have memory. And if you did it when you were younger and you train a little, it comes back quickly. I used to do lateral flies with 18-kilogram dumbbells and leg press 240k. I've never lost my strong legs, lol. My right shoulder, she is not happy. Maybe Matty can help with that. He's gonna be quite near you over there. She starts her first job in Santa Maria de Feira, the physics genius. We send our best to her, if you will. The Solimar cerveja. I saw those in Pingo and thought, ew, does it taste like the sea? No. What kind of? Pete, I'm envious. You are meeting the most amazing people. I cannot wait to get there. When you get in it, is this the year, Jackie? Is this the year you'll be joining us? Right. Let's talk a little bit then about Venezuelans in Portugal, and hope to have some Venezuelans join us on the screen. Nothing about them without them, I would say. I didn't manage to have that happen in time today, however. We are building the United Nations of Portugal, and what better prompt would I have than what happened over the weekend, bringing attention to the plight of Venezuelans. And let me read to you from the resources I'm building here. Approximately 28,000 to 35,000 Venezuelans actually live in Portugal. The 9,000 number is old. Okay, so as Grok would suggest, 28 to 35,000 Venezuelans live in Portugal, so a considerable community. As one of the most recent available data suggests, from 2020 onwards, reliable sources including UN estimates and migration reports cited in Statista and Datos Macro indicate 27,000, nearly 28,000 immigrants residents of Portugal as of 2020 to 2023. A 2025 report of Venezuelan Community Association in Portugal estimates the community around 35,000. Older or less precise figures, and this was the first number I came across on a missionary website, the Joshua Project, strangely enough. The older, less precise figures suggest lower numbers like the 7,900 to 9,000, but these appear outdated or incomplete compared to migration platform statistics. And a little bit of history here, in case like me, you didn't really know a lot about Venezuela. And yeah, in my ignorance, assuming, the Venezuelans, they would have come to Portugal just like us to enjoy, a better quality of life. Well, true in a way, but also to get away from the hideous things happening in their country. Venezuelans, citizens of Venezuela, of course, in 1821, Venezuela gained its independence from Spain along with Colombia and Ecuador, but they broke into three countries in 1830. So it was one country of Venezuela breaking up into Colombia and Ecuador. In 1830, Venezuela was a prosperous country until an over-reliance on petroleum, coupled with disastrous governmental economic policies, drove the nation into poverty and eventually into a humanitarian crisis. Roughly 1 in 4 Venezuelans, apparently, are now living in other countries. Wow. Today, Venezuelans are in 10 countries. I mean, that must be a generalization, largely in 10 countries, presumably, most of which are in Europe and North America. One of these countries is Portugal. What are their lives like? Primarily because of the need to flee the country in haste. Only wealthier Venezuelans left with passports and other essential documents. Those who fled to other countries might be from poor, middle class, or wealthy backgrounds. They are developing networks that help them build social networks and pressure the Venezuelan government to change its policies. Those who find work in Portugal send their money to their families in Venezuela, apparently, wherever they live. The most Venezuelans are Roman Catholic with an evangelical minority, according to the Joshua report. Now, those are the stats there then on the Venezuelan community here in Portugal. Here's a personal story, which I think it's okay. Let me just check. I think it's okay to share this because it was something. Actually, I won't share this. There's some pictures that I think probably shouldn't be. So I'll just read it out to you. And I will put that Portugal Club Venezuelans data to do with Venezuela back on the screen as I tell you about a personal story here, which is pretty hair-raising. And this has been reported by a chap called Jake, who I reached out to. We'll see if anyone gets back to me from the Venezuelan community. Of course, they might not want to talk live. They might not want to talk to me at all. But I am trying, and we should have Juan live from Spain tomorrow morning. But this is from a social media post. It is in the public domain, so I think it's okay to read it. If only to give you a sense of what's been going on over there. from a first-person perspective. People cry government overreach over policy debates. My fiance, this is Jake's fiance, fled her country after kidnappers said, "Your sister is next." Let me tell you about real overreach. Stop calling it corruption, this man writes. Corruption implies a system being abused. Venezuela isn't a government with a corruption problem. It's a criminal organization with a government problem. Let me show you what that actually looks like. And he talks of his fiancée Maria, who was born there. Her father built a business from nothing, real sweat, real sacrifice. Then Hugo Chavez nationalized it. He broadcast the expropriation on national television, announcing the name of the business he took and the name of the person who owned it. What the criminals heard was simple. The family has money. Within days, her brother was kidnapped, 24 hours of terror until the ransom was paid. And when they released him, they told him something that still makes my blood run cold. This is what Jake is saying. We're coming for your sister next. She didn't leave Venezuela for opportunity. And this, I suspect, is how it is for many people who find themselves in Portugal. They've left here to save their lives and lives of family members. She fled for her life. Her brother fled. Her parents fled. Her whole family scattered across the globe just to survive. This is what 27 years of revolution produced. And I won't go into any more detail, but you get the picture. It's a grisly situation. 8 million refugees, one of the largest displacement crises on earth, I think after Syria. So that's what we're dealing with the Venezuelan community, some of whom have ended up here in Portugal, and we will do our best to chat with them and find out what they make of the situation. That is not a small thing. That's everything. This continues. Argue policy all you want. That's your right. But words matter, because 8 million Venezuelans would trade their government for your overreach in a heartbeat. It's not healthy to have neighbors who hate everything you love, especially your freedom. And one other thing here, one perspective on this, and this is who I'll be speaking tomorrow, Juan Pablo Sanz, in the public domain again on social media. Imagine how effed up, I don't think that means fed up, we are in Venezuela, that we're celebrating someone else is bombarding us. I mean, it does come to something, doesn't it, when you put it like that? This is from a Venezuelan. Imagine how effed up we are in Venezuela that we're celebrating someone else bombarding us. My goodness, we will talk to Juan tomorrow about that, and we'll see if we can speak to any other Venezuelans in the meantime. Right. Let's go back to your comments. He must have felt his ears burning, the coach. I asked Grok and got the 9,000 number. Wrong again, Grok. I think we can safely assume for the time being that AI is indicative, and all it's doing is scraping other data, isn't it? Really, as most of us use it in online, it is scraping other and representing other data. It perhaps should improve. We shall see on that. AI for me, if I can find it here. Yeah, this show is powered by AI. Aging indifference, everybody. I'll leave that scrolling on the screen for just a moment and come back to your comments here. We've got Jackie letting us know, okay, this is the year then. This year, Carl, this year. Good. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bring chocolate and pies. Bon dia Gumpers, a bit late climbing out of the pit this morning, so apologies. Taking mother-in-law back to Peterborough this morning after a lovely weekend here with her, including going to Lepanto yesterday. All together now? Oh, no, you didn't. Simon Bolivar ended up living on Richmond Hill. Who didn't, Pete, of the great and the good and the infamous, having enjoyed a few lovely evenings at his former house, a beautiful Georgian pile. Okay, there's a cream for that, I suspect. Porto Costal. Hello, hola, bon dia. My new, who is this? Oh, it's Aviva. Very good. And great news, Aviva, from you. Are you really already? Okay, let us know. I'll allow you to announce that in your own time. But great work over at Expats Portugal with the, if I may just call it loosely speaking, the support group. Very popular. I suspected it might be if presented in the right way, and hosted brilliantly as well, as I'm sure you did. In Trinidad, there are thousands of Venezuelans living, as they are only 6 miles from Trinidad. The Trinidad government has taken a lot of Venezuelans in. Very interesting. I'll talk to Raul, my friend Raul, who's from Trinidad, now living in Portugal as well. Yes, garbage in, garbage out. Not talking about Venezuela. I'm talking about AI. Another idiot stands for also. Brilliant, Ian. Who was in your panto? Do miss a bit of he's behind you. agree with Duck. AI is rubbish. Well, hold on a minute. Come on. This is sounding like a big old Gumper mood swing. It can be useful, but like everything, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Come on, easy. No, didn't move yet, but soon. Excellent. Okay, so it's an affirmation-based moniker, Portugal style there. Congratulations on the new group, by the way, there. And great to see you here this morning, Aviva. In our last few minutes together this morning, celebrating the first real week, I think, of life in 2026. Got off to a bang. Definitely. AI can be very useful, yeah. Just need to verify everything. Yeah, absolutely. Like with many things, of course. We've looked at beer, we've looked at salty beer, we've looked at 10% off Musa, and we've looked at the Venezuelan community and hoping to actually speak to Venezuelan people on the show very soon. What else have we got for you? Oh, the top selling car brands. We've dealt with the 85-year-old who may or may not have lifted 100 kilograms. And of course, we'll finish with our wonderful tribute to Les. Rest in peace, Les, the Caldash crooner, who we paid tribute to earlier on as well. Sad to see him go. And at the ripe old age of 94, I believe, as well. God bless you, Les, and thank you very much indeed. Yeah, Wine Club tonight then, of course, and a couple of other memes. I wonder if Kate has blessed us with a Bygrave bonus yet over at the Portugal Club. I think everyone's a little bit sleepy like you, Coach Turner, this morning. Top 10 sales of new cars. Actually, the data's not last year, it's the year before. Maybe that's how long it takes for it to come out. So we shall return to that. Want to let you know that tonight at 8, those of you who can find the sexy Alentejo Red, full-bodied, no doubt, are invited to bring that along at 8 o'clock. I imagine the lock-in will include talk of international law and TDS, as well as DTS, deranged Trump syndrome and Trump derangement syndrome. I'm sure will be on the agenda tonight. It must be a Venn diagram where there's a little sweet spot in the middle, right? Sexy wine then, if you can get it. Otherwise, bring red Alentejo, I would say, as a substitute for that. It will be our pleasure to sample and talk about on this very screen Portuguese wine tonight from 8 and a lock-in. We have been talking a bit later than 8:30, so sometimes it's 9 before we get into a lock-in, and you're very welcome to join us for that. Drop me a line if you want to be in the Good Morning Portugal Wine Ninja group on WhatsApp. 913-590-303 is the number for that. So that's this evening at 8. And a week this evening, we will be back with Ben for the Find Your Home in Portugal show. If you're struggling with a New Year's resolution to not eat so much bread here in Portugal, or anywhere for that matter, here's a little hack for you. For this new year, I'm only eating one Papa Seco a day. That, of course, is a bread roll at Papa Seco. Look at that bad boy. It's like the picture of the old lady in the bakery, isn't it, with those massive baps of hers. Also, a couple of memes. Trust in other people. Oh, I can't see this, but it shows that there is a kind of middle average trust in other people here in Portugal. Higher levels of trust as you move further east, or Central Europe, I suppose it's fair to say. And the second, over in, is that Holland over there, Zetland? And the Belgians, is that right? The Belgers have quite high levels of trust as well. So actually not Eastern, but Central Europe, and Ireland notably as well. And other countries for which we need Peter to identify. I'm not very good at my European geography just by looking at silhouettes on a map. But we see over there, I'll fudge it with this, over there in Eastern Scandinavia. Which country is that? Is that, that'll be Finland, will it not, with high levels of trust? Perhaps not, if not in their neighbours, then in each other. Am I right? There's that Finland bordering Russia there. I think it is, isn't it, Peter? Pete will tell us. He'll be launching towards the screen as we speak to answer that question, I hope, if he hasn't gone off for a smoke. Most streamed Eurovision 2025 songs on Spotify, that's obscured by our countdown there. the Portuguese are loving by far streaming their song. Now, is Deslocado, is that going to be our song for Eurovision? Is that what happened? Was that our song, or is that what's going to happen? Is that the preamble and the foreplay for Eurovision 2026? I wonder. Whatever it is. Oh, look at the British entry. What the hell just happened? The song of the year, Deslocado. I think that was last year's song, wasn't it? But streamed 8.5 million times. The second most streamed, Espresso Macchiato, was only streamed 3,600,000. So Portuguese loving Spotify and streaming. Maybe it's because they don't want to buy it. I don't know. It's a good saving, I suppose, and stream it on Spotify on the freemium version. Rather than having to pay for a download. I don't know, but well done, Portugal, on being so supportive and patriotic in that Eurovision kind of way there. We will have to come back. A little heads up for you here, Coach Turner. You should, not you personally, but this was the advice given recently on social media. Fart walks, not fartlek, but actual passing wind constitutionals. Is that a 50-plus thing, I wonder, here where we're loving 50-plus life in Portugal? I'm not sure if you're laughing about that or not, Coach Turner, or my appalling grasp of geography. Right. Let's come back then. Just finally, top-selling brands of cars here in... I need to make some more of these as well. Mick... Oh, gosh, what's his name? I've forgotten his name now. Terence... And we all have a new president to put on the screen next to me here, that you'll see on the right hand of your screen. Within a couple of weeks, we will know the new president of Portugal. Finally, the last major election over this last not even 12 months. We've had every possible election here. We haven't had a referendum. I don't think that happens very often here in Portugal. At least we haven't had one of them, but we have had every other kind of election, and that will climax with the presidential election in under a couple of weeks, and we will know who the new president is. That's also going to be, I think, quite exciting to keep an eye on as well. Right. Top-selling cars, makes and models. Finally, before we have a lovely song from Les, let's have a look at this. Curiosity, says Antonio F., updating his thread from January 24. Top 10 sales of new cars in Portugal for 2023. It is last year's. Actually, it's 2025. So these are very recent numbers. The first posting from Antonio F. was 2023. This is the update on that, only a day ago. Regarding 2025, here's the top 10 passenger car models in Portugal. Renault Clio. To be a top-selling car, you only have to sell 8,242 cars here in Renault. That's not a big market, is it? Let's face it. And you can understand why the manufacturers probably want to look at Europe as a whole, or certainly the Iberian Peninsula, and might neglect Portugal a little bit with their marketing and representation. I'm sure Colin feels that way. Renault Clio, top seller then, followed by the Peugeot 2008. Dacia in third and fourth place with their Sandero and Duster. Citroen C3 with 5,428 sold. Peugeot 208, as well as a 2008 in the top 10. The Tesla Model 3 sold 4,372. Not many electrics here, I think it's fair to say. Peugeot 308 and Mercedes-Benz Class A finished the top 10. In terms of the top three makers, figures for passenger cars, Peugeot topped that list with 21,000 sales, Renault second with 18,000, and Mercedes-Benz with 17,000. In 2025, thanks to Antonio F. for this and all your other wonderful work for us, Antonio. New vehicles measured 264,821 units, representing a growth of 6.2%. 23.2% of new passenger cars are fully electric. So there you go. Those are the numbers for sales of cars in Portugal for 2025. Last year's stats are in. That is going into the comments. We will finish with Les in just a moment after we've heard the last of your comments this morning. Right, fart walks are not, here we go, the coach has spoken. Fart walks, not sure you set out to do that deliberately. Also may have dire consequences. Yikes. Okay. Right, where did we get to? Pete, it was a local production. Oh, the Panto with no big names, but it was well done. I so enjoyed being in a couple of Pantos back in the UK. It's great fun. I got a chance to dress up as a woman twice. It was the last of the run, as is traditional, by the way. Not for me. I mean, in the Panto industry, it was the last of a run. So bit of an end of term vibe. Oh yeah. I bet they played their hearts out, didn't they? I just looked it up. There are only 75 Australians as naturalized in Portugal. Wow. I will be special if my citizenship is approved. We will have a party, Mel. That sounds even better, Ian. What a fabulous night out. Mind you, if you had said Christopher Biggins, I would have been become Christopher Biggins. Not a fan of the Biggins too much. Oh, okay. And it is Finland. Thank you very much. Ian, just watch Stephen Fry. There is a game called What Is Up Biggins? But is he getting a bit old and grumpy? Christopher Biggins, I wonder. Morning to you, Hugh. How are you doing? And in regards, finally, then we're ending on a top note, literally. Boop. In regards of fart walks, make sure your distance to smokers behind you is sufficient. Otherwise, you might get an ignition. Oh, well done, Gumpers. Seeing the funny side as we end and pay tribute here to the wonderful Les, sadly passed away on the 2nd of January as we came into the new year. What a wonderful man. What a lovely legacy. And what a beautiful gift to the community here on the Silver Coast and to the world as he sang and performed poems online every week, I think, during the pandemic and continued to do so afterwards. So love you, Les. Thank you so much for what you gave to us. And we will remember you like this. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. And we'll have Juan, a Venezuelan living in Spain with us tomorrow. So Les, RIP. Love you.
Hello everybody, Les back here again. This time I hope I've got a voice for you, if it holds out. I'm going to sing you a song today, somebody I haven't sung before, Dean Martin. He was part of the Rat Pack along with Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra and a couple others. And the song is called Everybody Loves Somebody. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love somehow. Something in your kiss just told me my sometime is now. Everybody finds somebody someplace. There's no telling where love may appear. Something in my heart keeps saying my sometime is here. If I had it in my power, I'd arrange for every girl to have your charm. Say it every minute, every hour. Every boy would find what I found in your arms. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And although my dream was overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone like you. For someone like you.